All right, guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and get the discussion going here, folks. Yeah, if you're a fan of Black Roses, let us know your thoughts as we go through like our little, categories, our, talking points, as it were. And yeah, just I would say if you haven't seen this one, it is. Well, we'll get into why you should watch it. I'm going to hand things off to our special guest, Mr. Bill FRICKENSTEIN of the Ever Scathed. Bill, do you want to talk about like your, I love it, your history with the film? Like, the first time that you saw it, what made you fall in love with it? Any memories you've got with it? Why this movie is something that really resonates with you. So much so that you got Leanna Bevy Rage to watch the film and she fell in love with it as well. And then it poured over to me from there. So the floor is yours, man. Have at it.
Yeah, I remember being back in the day. It had been '88 when it came out, and going into our local Blockbuster when Blockbuster was kind of a new thing. We were always at mom and pop shops, up until that point. And there was a Blockbuster came to town. I was like, ooh, it was like, fancy. And I remember going to the back aisle, and the new release wall. There was only like one copy of Black Roses on VHS. But the thing that made it stick out from all the rest was it had like a 3D plastic, like not even plastic, maybe the plastic like the old Halloween masks were made out of, like the Ben Cooper masks, kind of like that kind of plastic.
Oh, gotcha.
It was a 3D VHS cover, like it was embossed, kind of like it was like popping out at you. And it's the cover with the guitar and the hands on it and the eyes and everything. And we were all like, me and my brother, my mom were all like, oh, how cool is that? We have to rent this, So we got a new release. It just came out that day. We rented it, and from right away, I was in love with it. I mean, the music is fantastic. I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, we'll get to the music later, I know, but I mean, everything about it's cool. Even back then, though, on my first watch, I knew that the rubber monsters were a little cheesy, but for the time, because you've seen so much better stuff up to that point. But it's one of those movies that, like, as time goes on, I'm like so nostalgic for that kind of stuff. It's so I love the rubber monsters. As goofy as some of them might look, it's like I just love it.
I'm sure we'll get into that, but I love them.
Yeah, it is something that's just so of its time, I do think there is something comforting about being able to step back and, I mean, this movie was made on a budget, but it's pretty good looking as far as all that goes. I would say the production value is pretty high for what I'm guessing it cost. I guess I should probably bring up the IMDb and look for some of that stuff, but
I'll say this, it actually looks like a music video, like in the beginning when they're rolling into town.
Yeah.
It looks like it could be like a Great White video or a White Snake video or any of the white bands. It could be a video for them.
Yeah, and there is like this this whole feeling of this ragtag group coming into town, sort of like, there's after the opening like credits and the first song and everything, they just like stop their cars right in the middle of like the downtown, like desolate downtown area of this small town, and they look around kind of like this place is ours, sort of like that kind of vibe.
Imagine the song playing,
it's
just like
something wicked comes to town, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right into the heart of small downtown,
Now, so you saw it at the video store. I knew of the movie whenever I was a teenager and it was on VHS. I never saw it though until later whenever it hit DVD, that famous DVD that's still the only way you can get it, right? That one DVD.
There you go.
Yeah, that one came out and sometime in the 2000s, and I remember like Rue Morgue and everybody was like pumping it real big, and I'd heard of it, and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta check this out. So I got the DVD. I still got it over there, and it's awesome. It's streaming on Shudder now, but still never had that Blu-ray or 4K release, right?
Right. No, this is all I know about, and it was 2007. You're right, 2000s, and believe it or not, this movie's not just only streaming on Shudder. It's streaming on Peacock. It's streaming on Tubi. It's streaming on Plex. Ooh. There's like 4 or 5 different services. I was shocked to see how many services it was streaming on. I'm like, hell yeah. You know, for such a small movie that no one had ever heard. I would tell people about this my whole life. Be like, remember Black Roses? No. You know, like, oh, you never saw that? Oh, it's so cool, man.
Like, I liked it whenever I got the DVD and discovered it. Like, I actually got to watch it after hearing about it all these years, and I was like, hell yeah! Because I'll go ahead and say this: everybody knows I'm a diehard Sammy Kerr Trick or Treat fan. So I always heard about the other heavy metal horror movie, and I was like, I gotta fucking watch this. Now, Trick or Treat, I did watch as a kid. It was in our local mom and pop shop, and like, so all these years later, I was happy to finally fucking watch it. And spoiler alert, I dig it.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is one I didn't even know about this one until you were talking about it, Bill. And then once Leanna was like, she saw it and she was raving about it, I'm like, oh well shit, like I have to check this one out because I trust her taste you know, probably more than anyone else in the YouTube community. So I was like, all right, well, I've definitely got to check this one out. Just watched it for the first time like 3 weeks ago. And I put it on today while I was getting everything ready for the stream. So I got probably like 3/4 of the way through today. And yeah, this one's really fun. It is, I think it's a really good, it is different enough from Trick or Treat, but also like a really fun, like double feature, you know, if you're digging that kind of 80s metal horror vibe. And it is, it's not like either one is like you know, taking anything other than the metal aspect of it, but they're very different films.
I got a question for you guys. Who do you think would have opened for who? Do you think Black Roses would have opened for Sammy Kerr? I think it feels like it on their level, but I just don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's a tough one because go for it, Bill.
They didn't let Sammy play the high school dance. They did let Black Roses.
Yeah. They let Black Roses.
You just answered your own question there. Sammy Kerr is opening for Black Roses.
Yeah.
There you go.
Especially if Black Roses keeps playing Me Against the World from Lizzie Borden. You know?
Yeah, dude.
Rules.
Yeah, and Black Roses, not only that, but the school lets them just like have free reign. Like what they're like rehearsing in there. They're playing 3 nights in a row or whatever it is. It's just this tiny little town. It's kind of funny that this band that has like, they're already like, when the movie starts, they've got like this mythical status, but they're playing this tiny little town, this auditorium that maybe fits like 300 people. Like maybe.
I gotta say this about the beginning. Rewatching the beginning today, I was like, oh, so that one's in like New York, right? Like the opening shot of them, like, and it comes on. It doesn't show them as humans; it shows them as demons in the opening fucking shot. And then the entire audience is demons, and everybody just runs out. It looks like a concert in hell until, you know, like the 2 guys working the theater get killed on the run out. And I'm just like, did they base this in New York for 2 reasons? One, to show like what's happening and set up before it goes to the small town, and 2, they figure there's enough crime in New York already. No one's going to notice like thousands of fucking demons running around ganking everybody.
There you go. Well, yeah, I think that's
the way I always looked at it. The way I always looked at it is like, if you listen, like when the teacher is interviewing Damien, you know, when he doesn't have his getup on, he has his wig off and everything, and they're drinking milk. Yeah. They're walking around drinking glass milk. He's trying to show him how wholesome he is, you know. And he mentions that he's like, oh, why'd you pick this small town to open your tour? It's the first time out of the studio playing. So he goes, well, we did have one other show, but we won't talk about that. Or he says something like that, kind of brushes it up. That's the show he's talking about, is that the opening scene. Like that was their only other show. That was like their first show ever. What I always took it as is they went full demon too early, and it turned the crowd into raving lunatics and sent them out. And it kind of, you know what I mean? It's like I think they learned their lesson. They had to scale it back. So now they're going to a small town. They're going to take over the kids.
Did that opening scene,
you know, over 3 nights instead of 1? And
yeah, did that opening scene remind anybody else of the movie Demons, or Demons 2?
Oh, dude,
when you're
Demons is another one of my all-time favorites. Great soundtrack. Yeah. Love Demons.
Yeah, it's just like whenever you're watching it, like it just fits in perfectly with Demons in that world.
Oh, totally. Oh, exactly, man. Yeah. Yes, this is my favorite genre of movies. There's not too many of them, but I love the metal meets horror. I love, satanic band comes to town and chaos ensues. You know what I mean? The townsfolk trying to drive them out. Like the devil's coming to town. And I just love it. It's my favorite type of movie there is.
We could easily do Demons on Movie Punks, Davey.
Demons is great. I'm a big. Everyone here that's hanging out knows that I'm a huge demonic possession film fan, especially when it's not the non-religious type, because they don't have to play by any rules. They get to just like kind of make up their own rules. So yeah, I think there is a little bit of a similarity, because in Demons it's like the film is turning the people into demons, and they're all getting kind of locked in there. And then this movie has a very similar theme where the more nights, it's like the more people return to watch Black Roses, the more susceptible they are to being like, brought into the cult and essentially turned into tools of the devil.
Demonic possession.
Like each night they get more and more possessed. They get more and more under their spell.
Yeah, exactly. And they start doing some crazy stuff. They start behaving very badly. However, it's like the mayor is like not really that worried. And I love that the mayor is basically like, my hands are tied. The school like said it was okay. Like I'm totally powerless to the high school, even though I'm the mayor. Like he's got this blasé attitude. He's like, remember the Beatles? We can't forget the Beatles.
Let me ask you guys. Let me ask you guys, do you think they played the same set all 3 nights because it didn't matter? Or do you think that they actually put work into the set and were like, well, on the 3rd night, we're going to play this cut from this B-side?
Well, what's your face? One girl mentioned that they play a different set each night. Because he goes, the teacher asked her, how could you keep going listening to the same songs over and over again? She goes, no, it's different every night. And I noticed different things in the music that I didn't notice the day before. It seems to speak to me.
There you go. So, there's something subliminal.
Yeah. See, it's nice to see that the Demons are not just phoning it in. They really thought about their set list, man.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, dude, that's my favorite. I mean, are we doing a subject with our favorite moments, or because I don't want to blow it now.
No, we totally can. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, let's do. But we'll get into everything else. We've got some other categories, but let's go ahead and do that now. Yeah, let's do. I'm just gonna type it out here, so we've got a little nice banner for it. Yeah, favorite moments. Nice. Bill, take it away.
All right, my favorite part in this movie, and it's any movie that's in this little subgenre of metal meets horror. My favorite scene, the entire thing, is when all the teachers come to check them out, Black Roses, on the first night to make sure they're not too bad, with the mayor. And he's like, I don't see anything wrong with it. They start playing the most soft, adult contemporary song there is. We're on our way to paradise. They got nice hair, nice suits on and everything. And they're like, this isn't bad. Come on, let's get the hell out of here. I got to be up early in the morning. And they're all leaving. But like that teacher still has... he's like, I don't know. And he gets up, and they're about to leave, and he stops in the doorway, and he's looking back at him. Oh, God, I just love it. I crack up every time. I love it so much. And Damon's looking at him, and they lock eyes, and then the mayor comes back, come on, and they leave. The second that teacher's out of the door, lights go off. They come back on, metal screeching. They got the leather on, the studs, the spikes. It's like, it's a rock invasion. Now it's heavy metal, I love it. Yeah. Like the teacher's like, it's like he's like the wedge in between. All the rest of them are fuck out of there. We already fooled all them. But that teacher still wasn't quite fooled, It's just that look with that mustache and the light and everything. Oh, I love it. That's my favorite scene in any horror movie.
That teacher, we'll talk about him later. There's that's some fun stuff there. And there is a little bit of that, like, for being like a smaller movie and everything, like you had mentioned, Foz, there was not no theatrical release for this one. There is a nice little layer there with the story that you're talking about, Bill, where it's kind of like, they understand that they have to sort of satiate the older folks and and make them think that everything's totally safe. So it is kind of like a layered approach of like, we'll get into the satanic panic, but that kind of thing, like, sneaking into the teenagers' lives and everything like that. But really quick, Foz, before you give your favorite moment, Foz, Cody Snyder dropped a $5 super chat for Bill and says, "Do you want to sing it, Bill?"
Fast as a shark and a he's a kid, I'll rip out your heart.
There you go.
A one-way trick, and you better be back on the attack. Hard to get that accept that high what you call it.
That is a very high falsetto there. Good job on that one. And thank you so much for the $5 super chat there, Cody. One of our great Death Squad mods. Foz, favorite moment or moments in
I'll
in Black
give you my most awkward moment. That like I always think about this ever since the first time I watched it, is whenever like the teenage girl wants to bring her best friend over to take care of her pervy father. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to leave you guys to it. And I'm just like, you know what's going to happen, but at the same time, it's just so.
Are you talking about the strip gin scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I even had a banner just for that, because this scene is so. I was telling Leanna about it. Totally caught me off guard. I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" This is like a high school girl that's like, "No, I can't go home. My parents aren't there."
Yeah,
they're like,
because like we should call your parents.
Yeah. And then the dad actually agrees to this shit. Like, oh my gosh. Hopefully times have changed.
He's all sweating. I'm her father. He's stuttering.
Yeah. He gets so excited.
That scene just like sticks in my head more than any of the demon scenes where I'm like, I feel dirty now.
Yeah. I was conflicted because I was titillated, yet I did feel dirty. I was like, I know this is wrong, but I do like watching a beautiful woman take off her clothes. So, conflicted.
I'll say this, dude. This movie doesn't skimp on the gore. It's like dark with the gore. Like the killing scenes are not like, oh man, that's awesome. It's more like, ugh. It's a little grisly.
Yeah,
well, except for the one. With the Muppet monster coming out of the record player and the speaker.
Oh yeah,
and eating big pussy from Sopranos.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, I haven't even seen The Sopranos, but I know that guy. I'm like, that guy's so recognizable.
What was the other horror
movie Jerky
Boys?
Wasn't he in Jerky Boys movie?
Yeah, Jerky Boys. Wasn't he in like the 4th Sleepaway Camp? Like Return to Sleepaway Camp or some shit. I just remember him on the back of that terrible movie DVD at Movie Gallery, and it would be like featuring Big Pussy from Sopranos.
That's what it says, like right on the box.
Yeah, literally, it's like starring blah blah blah, Big Pussy from Sopranos. It's like I remember that in the Movie Gallery section, like right next to the other 3 Sleepaway Camps. I'm always like, get the other ones, get two, you'll be better off.
Yeah, I still haven't seen any of those. There are a couple.
Now's the time.
Yeah, never seen any of them.
Now's the time.
You gotta see the first one, man. It's a classic. It's so good.
I'm a 2 guy.
The second one was decent too.
I enjoy 3 for a punk rock character, and then what was it? The blonde punk rock characters. Forget his fucking name, but I was like, this is the most punk rock character in all the fucking horror movies.
In what? The Sleepaway Camp 2?
Part 3. So Sleepaway Camp Part 2 and 3 were filmed back to back. But like while Sleepaway Camp 2, they blew their budget on extra, Sleepaway Camp 3 literally feels like a camping trip with like 5 people.
Yeah, and there's a couple other kills here.
Yes.
And it does get really, really dark with the the kid that like it wakes up possessed in the or he wakes up possessed and like his dad's reading the newspaper and he like grabs the gun and goes up to his dad and his dad's like, oh, you're back from the concert, I love you, son, or whatever, and he's like I love you too, dad, and blows his brains out. You've got the one guy that like runs over his mom in reverse because she's like, "Oh, dude, you had to go to that concert."
See, I told you, dude, this is grisly as fuck, man.
Yeah. Once it starts killing it, like you said, the kills are dark. They're not like, except the only one that's like goofy is the one with the getting pulled into the speaker and shit with the record going. The record's bubbling. I mean, it looks. It has that cartoonish look to it and that vibe, but I love it.
Like, we were not to be always comparing to Trick or Treat, but we were talking about Trick or Treat earlier. At least those that are like more jovial, funny, kind of fucking kills, or even whenever they're darker, it's still not like crazy fucking dark. Like, they'll make jokes like the police that like you just have the police guy's boots right there, shit like that. They can't get by with anything like that in Black Roses.
No. Yeah.
And there's the kill where the girl is like meeting the counselor and she's like her dad just her creepy dad just died from the heart attack or whatever, and she's like, oh, it makes me want to scream, and he's like, oh well, like we can try that out. I've been thinking about working that into my therapy, and opens the window and she just like gets possessed and like pushes him out of the window. And I think that one's a little goofy because he lands in like the back of the truck, like
and the guy's next to it and he kind of does a double take and looks up.
Yeah. And she just like leans out and she's like, nice scream or whatever. Like, so, she doesn't get arrested. She just gets to go to the show that night. There's not much of a, where are the police in this town? Is that something the mayor's also like, well, I don't know. The police, like the school gets to tell me what to do. And we have no police, apparently. The teacher is like the de facto police officer here for some reason.
He's the law.
Barney got sent up to Mount Pilot for the weekend.
He's also the de facto Tom Atkins. They're like, we're going to give you a mustache and we're going to make people think you might be Tom Atkins.
Nobody believes him.
So, real quick, I think my favorite moment, because it's, I don't know why, I love when the teacher gets into the argument with Priscilla at the mayor's house, because the movie completely changes to like this dramatic, like maybe I was stupid to become a teacher, and I'm just like, what's happening in this movie now? And that's when this guy's performance, you really are like, oh my god, this guy is the star of the movie and he can hardly act, but I'm loving it. I don't know, that whole like Lifetime movie moment where he goes to see her and she calls the kid stupid, accuses him of like having a relationship with one of the kids. So this movie does not hold back on adults having relationships or near relationships with high school students.
Wasn't her whole thing was she was just like, you just care about those students too much. You care about them more than me. Like, wasn't that like her whole her whole thing?
Much,
Yeah, she's like, oh, I know all about your stupid students. Like, she calls them stupid students, including your class pet. And he's like, now leave so-and-so out of this. And she's like, see, you knew exactly who I was talking about.
Yeah. You know who that she is, that Priscilla? That's Lou Ferrigno's wife.
Oh, really? Fuck.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
I remember seeing her name in the credit. Like, someone popped up in the credits, said, like, Cindy Ferrigno or something like that, or whatever her name is. And I'm like, I wonder if that's like his sister or something. So I looked it up, and they were married. I don't know if it looks like they're still married, but they filed for divorce. They have like 3 kids together. But yeah, that's
just recently.
IMDb said filed for divorce, so I don't know what that means.
Gotcha.
Don't worry, Lou. You'll be all right, man.
Yeah, and real quick, because we had mentioned the low budget like kind of aspect of the movie, and I didn't have that number, but yeah, this movie has a budget. The estimated budget's just $450,000, so pretty low budget. And man, it looks really good for a movie that didn't even cost $500,000. Yeah. This let's see here. So favorite moments, we've gone into that. Foz, it sounded like you kind of wanted to take the lead on the Satanic Panic. aspect of the film. I know we touched on it, but go ahead and tell us about the Satanic Panic, and then we'll pass it on over to you, Bill.
Well, see, for me, Satanic Panic is, it's weird to say, but I have like nostalgic memories of that because I grew up in West Virginia, rural as fuck back here, and ever since I was a little kid, it was always like, you gotta watch out for those Satan worshippers up in the hills, and everything was satanic. Can't get around a Ouija board, it's satanic, you'll get possessed. Can't listen to Metallica, you'll get possessed. You can't do anything, you'll get possessed. Can't read that Conan the Barbarian comic or the Spawn comic or the Lobo comic, you're gonna get possessed. We can't do nothing fun. And fucking Satanic Panic was just like a huge excuse around here for an already repressed town to be like, oh no, I've seen them devil worshippers up there. They were sacrificing a goat the other day. And, you know, so it's funny to me whenever you watch, you know, movies like this and it turns it on its head and it's like, oh no, we really are demons and you're gonna fucking die. And it's like, you know, every churchgoer somewhere is like, I told you.
Yeah, there's like the one woman on the board that's like, she's reading the lyrics and everything. Again, the mayor is like, he's like, well, you know, their lyrics are kind of antisocial, but come on, this isn't that big of a deal. Like, the mayor cracks me up. I love that guy.
Yeah, me too. I love the mayor. He's great. He got a lot of credits to him. You know, I don't really know him from much anything else, but apparently he is in stuff I've seen. I just didn't know, you know. But yeah, he cracks me up. But the one that you were talking about, who was reading all the lyrics on the podium and all that, I didn't realize until just the last time I looked up on IMDb that she was the main girl from Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, the original?
Yeah.
I
forget her name. Something Jane Adams or something. I forget her name, but
Julie Adams
was in like love with or whatever.
Julie Adams, yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God, she was smoking when she was younger.
Yeah,
Holy cow! I'm just looking at pictures.
That plays on Pluto TV a lot on that Universal Monsters channel, and so I saw it not too long ago. Damn,
I love that movie. That's like probably my favorite. Well, Frankenstein, of course, is my favorite Universal monster, but I got to say Creature's my second. Totally.
Yeah, and another moment, just while we're talking about the Satanic Panic, that I love with the mayor is when the teacher, what's his name? I'm looking for the actor here. Is
not Tom Atkins?
Yeah, not Tom Atkins. He calls the mayor and he's basically like, Mayor, like, I'm really concerned, you know, there's been a couple of these shows, the kids are acting weird, like, I don't think we should, like, I think we should cancel this next show, blah, 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 and the mayor's just, like, not even listening. He's just like, oh, this is just because you and Priscilla had a fight, like, his daughter, he's, you know, you just need to work things out with Priscilla. And he's like, Mayor, come on. I'm telling you that like something's not right with this band. And he's like, no, just come on over and talk to Priscilla. He's like the conversation. This is maybe the worst mayor that I've seen in any movie. Him and Larry Vaughn from Jaws could like, that would be a very interesting, like who's the worst mayor, you know, there. Bill, do you have anything to add to the Satanic Panic aspect? I mean, you play in a metal band. Does this stuff still exist? Like, are there people that look at you kind of side-eyed when you're like, you know, I'm in this crazy metal band called the Everscathed? Does that element still exist out there?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's more common now than it ever was before, but it's still not, you know, for everybody. It's still not in a lot of people's, you know, a lot of people who say death metal, they go, oh, what the hell? You know, they go, is that like Megadeth? I'm like, no, heavier. You know, so I still got to explain it a lot, but not as much as you used to have to, you know, but I mean, yeah, there's still all the satanic bands out there and everything. But yeah, when I think of Satanic Panic, I think, because my dad was like that. He was like a reborn Christian and all that stuff. And yeah, I remember being, you know, young and getting into music and stuff. And I'd start telling him what bands I'm listening to. And he'd be like, no, you can't be listening to that stuff. You know, it's Satan worship. You're going to listen to the wrong thing and you're going to go to hell. You're going to lose your soul and all this. Like, man, but that's like kind of made it more interesting. Like, what? Like, what about it is evil? Like, trying to figure it out, kind of. And then I remember buying my very first Iron Maiden album I ever bought. It right there. I bought Somewhere in Time, and I remember coming home and going in the backyard. You know, I got my basketball net out there. I'm shooting some hoops. Got the big boom box sitting over there, and and crank it up and listen to Iron Maiden. All of a sudden, you start getting it's the lyrics like "You've only got your soul to lose." Like, wait, he was right. And I gotta go to hell for listening to this. Like, but it's maybe why I listen more, honestly. I mean, I remember going back within a few days of buying another Iron Maiden tape. I bought Power Slave. So. It was like, I don't know. That stuff was always just like, it kind of, and you like the PMRC and all that stuff when they tried to, ban stuff and shut it down and put labels on it. And I mean, that just made you want to hear it more. What's so evil about this? Why can't I, it's just, it makes you want to get your hands on it, so.
Yeah. And back then, I remember back in the 80s, it being like all over the news and everything like that too. Todd brings up here the satanic panic behind Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, there's like, I remember news stories. It wasn't like Tom Hanks in some really cheesy, there's like some after school special that's really famous, right?
So I actually just watched that within the last couple of years again, and it's not very good.
It's not.
But yeah, there definitely was that whole satanic panic is interesting. It's funny, like last night when I was at my sister's birthday party, I was talking to somebody about movies, and she was like, talking about horror movies, and she's like, do you ever get worried, like when you watch stuff like The Evil Dead, like do you ever think like you're watching something that is evil or what? And I'm like, oh, it's just art. It's just, I was like, if anything, I just think it's like those are their God-given talents, or to make these things. Like, so, very seldomly is somebody actually out there saying like, yes, this is about worshiping Satan. Usually it's just the sort of like vibe around it that people just attach the satanic kind of element to, even though the artistic work isn't really about that. It just goes against their sensibilities, and it's easier to say, oh, this is satanic, rather than to actually have to argue the merits of the art. I
was gonna say, anymore, the big fucking popular thing is all this satanic imagery in pop music. Like, I've been seeing that pop up, like a lot of people saying this is that, this is that, and then like some people will say, oh yes, I'm praising Satan in my new stage show and all this stuff. And it's like people will say whatever is satanic because it's heavy, and it's not. And then the pop people are like putting it right out there, and it's like really like okay, we can see what the gimmick is, guys. We know that you're not actually into this shit. The people that are saying that metal is, like, metal guys are just like, dude, whatever, I'm just playing some metal. It's just a weird state of being right now in music and Satan.
It is odd that you bring
metal was the popular thing back then, and that was right around, so it's just like now it's the different form of music that's popular, and it all goes in cycles. It all just comes right back around again. Especially something like that, it's like, I just think the world was more religious back then. Like when the satanic panic was going on, a lot more people went to church, I think, back then. So anything that was even, like you said, even kind of came close to being like evil or whatever was just like blown way out of proportion. Like, oh my God, it's against what we believe in, so it's got to be evil. It can't be good for the kids.
Yeah, I think back then the religious, like, there was a lot more of that in mainstream society, and even on like mainstream news. That was kind of the way the culture was, where that was sort of the ruling, idea back then. But yeah, it is odd that you say that, Foz, with I've noticed that too with the pop music, like kind of bringing that element in. I'm guessing just for attention, or I don't even know. Just to be controversial, because the music isn't dangerous at all. The music is about as safe as it gets. So, I think this is a perfect time to segue into the music here on In Black Roses. Bill, do you want to kick this one off? As far as feel free to sing every song on the soundtrack if you'd like.
That's all I do for this segment. I just sing every song.
And it's a cappella, so we can't get copyright.
Where do I start? Where do I end? I mean, every song. I mean, you get Me Against the World opens the movie out. Love
the Tupac
song.
I love that song.
Yeah, Lizzie Borden just rules. I mean, that song is on Visual Lies is the name of the record. Great album all the way through, and all their previous just go listen to Lizzie Borden. Throw on any record, you're gonna have a good time. And yeah, they're so good, man. They've got a song called Red Rum. Like The Shining, Red Rum. It's so good, man. I crank those songs at Halloween time every year. I got a playlist of all like these, evil type songs or songs that have horror movie themes and Lizzie Borden, like every year on Halloween, I just crank them like crazy. But then just the Black Roses themselves. Like every song they play is great, First one they kick on, it's a rock invasion. And the drummer is Carmine Appice, or Appice, I've heard it pronounced two different ways. He's played in a lot of different bands. Vanilla Fudge, Blue Murder. He played with Rod Stewart on the song "If You Want My Body." And you look at the drummer in the background. That's him. That's the same drummer from Black Roses, twirling his drumsticks. And watch Ozzy Osbourne, "Bark at the Moon." Same drummer, Carmine, up in the castle playing his drums. So a real famous drummer, real great drummer. And real great songwriters, like the band who plays the band in the movie wrote the songs too, and really played the songs. So great songs.
And that's a really cool aspect of the movie as well. Like very rarely do you see that where I'm seeing at least 4 of the credited songs here that are listed on the IMDb where all written by the band that appears in the film, and it says performed by Black Roses. I'm pretty sure the singer's not the singer though. I'm pretty sure that singer's just an actor and he's lip syncing. You can totally tell he's lip syncing. I mean, the way he overemphasizes certain words and stuff, I'm like, dude, like you're just so overacting. But I think everyone but him, like the rest of the band, I believe is the band that actually wrote and plays those songs. Awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. I love that. And then go ahead.
No, and then there's also the band Hallows Eve has a song in there called the one song D.I.E. Death in Effect. It's kind of like in the background at one point where one of the kids is doing something at home. But I saw Hallows Eve live once in a little bar not too far from here. It's like crazy. Great song. Is
that the song that's playing when the little kid is like burning up his toys?
I think so. Yes, I believe that's when it plays. Yeah. And it's like, why would you do that to your toys?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, exactly. What's wrong with even the little kids that aren't even at the concert are becoming little shits?
Yeah. Well, they come in, they take over the kids, man. They take over the town. Evil.
So that is something I do want to talk about. I guess we sort of touched on it earlier, right? There's they played a show in New York City and they figured like that one got kind of off the rails too, it just got off the rails too quick. So they come to this small, tiny ass little town, this itty bitty auditorium. I'm guessing that's just the budget constraints though. I think that was like one of the things the first time
that concert at the beginning is the same venue. If you look close enough, they just have it way more packed in the beginning. It's the same stage and everything. It's just shot from different angles,
That's funny.
Yeah, and they I the first time watching it a few weeks ago, I was like, this is kind of funny that they just came to this tiny little town. But I guess maybe that's part of the lesson the movie is trying to teach is that like evil starts out small and it just like turns into something, because by the end of the film, all this death and destruction is fallen upon this tiny little town, and then I believe the movie ends with like a news segment, right? And they are going back to like the big city. Black Roses is going back to the
Garden. 4 nights sold out.
New York's gonna get even worse.
So here's how my mind works. I'm like, okay, so are the people who's already possessed buying tickets again to go to that, or is it like supposed to be all new people to make even more demons? Like what's going to happen there?
I'm thinking that they're going to the Big Apple now. They learned how to do it in this small town. Now they're going to do it over 4 nights in the biggest city in America, and just take over from there, That's how I looked at it.
Yeah, and they do all free shows. They like what the teacher says something like, "Oh, what? It's everybody win the lottery. You guys are all going to the concert again," or something like that. And she's like, "No, they're letting everyone in for free." And I think that's like when something kind of clicks with him too, where he's like, "Oh, these kids don't like it when I'm talking about Walt Whitman."
Way too many times. He's constantly doing that. Like, hey, wait a minute. He keeps on doing it until he finally grabs a can of gasoline and goes run and torch the place. But it took the whole movie to get to that point. Everything was, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah. This guy. Should we talk about the acting?
Yeah, I was going to say the acting. Just have a segment that says Mr. Morehouse.
Yeah, and Dave Vanderhoff in the chat was saying like he really enjoys this guy's performance. I do too. It's not quite like Tommy Wiseau from The Room or anything, but there is something that's like it's not good acting technically, but there is something very alluring about the performance. It is kind of like so bad it's good for me, but maybe you guys feel differently. I don't know.
I just think it kind of reminds me of like soap opera acting a lot of times, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're cheesy as hell, it's like, but I think he did a great job. I think he is like the actor, like they probably got him out of a theater, a local theater or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of times movies like this will get a theater actor who projects and like it just doesn't turn well to the actual screen, And I think that might have been his problem.
Yeah, and he's kind of like he's trying to be the cool teacher, and he's trying to make Walt Whitman and all this like old timey literature seem really cool. But then at the same time, he's maybe having some weird flirty relationship with one of the girls that's in high school. It's bizarre. They never really like tell you what's going on there, but you definitely get some vibes. But yeah, he does this. He calls it forum in the classroom. He's like, forum, everyone.
Yeah,
forum, and they all just pick up their desks. Yeah, and this is this movie has the classic high school, just any kind of school trope where the classes seemingly only last 5 minutes and then the bell rings and they're like, well, I'll see you later.
Yeah, I know. Yes, exactly. And that guy, even Vanderhoff brought him up earlier. I've seen it down there talking about that guy who plays Johnny. When he's going through the streets and he's swinging around on the poles and stuff like that. I remember that would always annoy the shit out of me. Like nobody does that in real life. Like he does it to like everything. He like runs to the next one and he twirls around. He's like just such an over actor the whole movie. Like even in that class, he's like it looks like he's 35 years old in class. No one gets this, but this band gets it. It's like, dude, what are you still doing in high school?
And that's the guy that looks like he kind of looks like what's his face? MacGruber, Will Forte, right? Is that who we're talking about?
Yeah. He kind of looks like him and that other guy, the guy with the. He always looks like he's high.
Jim Brewer.
I can't remember his name. Yeah, Jim Brewer. If you put those two guys in a blender. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, it's his name is Frank Dietz. Played Johnny here. Yeah, he's like he's pining over the girl that's like the teacher's pet, and he's basically like he feels like he can't get with her because she's got a crush on Mr. Morehouse. It's bizarre. Yeah.
It's like singing in the rain, rolling around on light posts and then yanking at the street signs and.
Yeah, the destruction of property or whatever. Mr. Morehouse accuses him of all this stuff in class.
Yeah, that's why they had to do it for him, right? Was it because he painted the town red last night?
Yeah, and he's like the law is just too constricting. But I'm like, what law? There are no police here. No one's investigating the deaths of the parents. No one is curious about the counselor being pushed out of the window and the girl just like cackling out of the window. Like It is. I guess they just didn't have the budget for it. This makes the police from A Nightmare on Elm Street look very capable. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there is no police. Do we ever see a cop in the whole movie?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think Mr. Morehouse is the law. You know.
Pretty much. Yeah.
The law.
He doesn't arrest them. He just puts them in a forum.
Yes.
Forum, bitch.
Puts him in a forum, gets into conversations with the mayor where the mayor doesn't listen at all. Yeah, I do think the guy that, so like I said, Mr. Morehouse, I don't think he's a great actor, but I do enjoy the performance. I think it definitely brings something. There is like a lovable campiness about the film, and not just with the acting, but kind of with everything else. So
he sticks out. You remember him, you know.
And then really quick, I know we already talked about Satanic Panic. Do you think the movie is making fun of the Satanic Panic, or do you think the movie is actually trying to be like edutainment as far as all that goes?
I think that they just saw a popular thing in the news and said that. Because he had already, correct me if I'm wrong, dude had already done Rock and Roll Nightmare, right?
Is it the same director?
After this. Is it? Was it before?
I thought Rock and Roll Nightmare was before this. Like I might be wrong.
1 year
though.
Before. Wow, I always thought it was after. It's 1 year before.
Yeah. So like I knew that this was like back to back, and like he was like, well, I've already had one heavy metal horror movie. Let's see what's going on MTV. Okay, let's do this. That's just kind of how I took it.
Oh my! So you guys
makes so much more sense now. I'm glad you brought that up, because I always wondered why Black Roses was so good and Rock and Roll Nightmare went so down in quality, where it was the opposite. Like he got so much better in Black Roses. He made a way better movie. Like he started with that one and made a way better movie. You know, is his follow-up. Wow.
Yeah, because cool. Rock and Roll Nightmare. So I know it as Zombie Nightmare. It was made. They riffed it on Mystery Science Theater 3000. So I've actually seen that movie a whole bunch, but just the Mystery Science Theater version. Yeah, and this movie's way better than Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Mm-hmm. I love Rock and Roll Nightmare though too. Great soundtrack. Thor and the Tritons. Yeah, great.
Oh, and it opens up with it opens up with Ace of Spades, right, during the credits.
No, it's all Thor and the Tritons. The whole soundtrack. I
can't remember.
I thought Ace of Spades by Motorhead is like the song that kicks off the.
No.
At least, yeah, no.
The first song is.
Or at least during the credits.
Dude, you just keep throwing that van driving. Are we talking about the same movie? Yeah, I'm wondering, because I never heard it called Zombie Nightmare.
I've heard of Zombie Nightmare. I thought it was a different movie, but I didn't know.
The one
Edge of Hell is another name for it.
Does Rock and Roll Nightmare has Adam West in it? Are we talking about the same movie?
No.
Okay.
It's a different movie.
It's a different movie.
I know which one you're talking about.
So this guy then, John Fasano, he directed Zombie Nightmare. I don't see Rock and Roll Nightmare on his IMDb. So I don't know if he was in it. Let's see here. Oh, no, you guys are right. He did both. He did Rock and Roll Nightmare and Zombie Nightmare in the same year, in 1980. So this guy was your kind of, for 2 years, he did three heavy metal films.
Wow.
All right.
Now I got to look up Zombie Nightmare. I know I've seen it because I've seen the one with Adam West, but I can't recall like music.
I might have seen the MST3K of it because I can't replace it, but I know I've seen Adam West on MST3K before.
Yeah, I mean that, and it has similar. Yeah, so John Mickle Thor is the star of Zombie Nightmare, and so Thor is in the soundtrack. So is Death Mask, Fist, Girls School. Motorhead's got a track there.
Wow.
So yeah, Bill, if you haven't seen that one, it's not a great movie.
John Michael Thor's in that one too.
Yeah, he's the lead. He's the
lead in Rock and Roll Nightmare also.
So what happened? God, now I need to do a deep dive on what the heck happened there. Did they just make two very similar movies with the same crew, like at the same, like Roger Corman style? Because Roger Corman would make he would make 2 movies. Like he'd use budget for 1 movie to make 2 movies and just keep Boris Karloff and Vincent Price or whoever he was, not Vincent Price, Peter Cushing. He would just keep them there and make 2 movies for the price of 1. And it sounds like maybe that's what they did with Zombie Nightmare and Rock and Roll Nightmare as well.
Could be.
So wow, guys,
you're got me intrigued now too.
You're getting some bonus movie punks action now. We're talking about other heavy metal 80s horror films.
It looks like I'm going to be watching some Mystery Science Theater 3000.
It's a really good episode. It is a really good one. Yeah. It's one of the first ones I ever saw. Like
10 minutes in the van. Yes.
Yeah.
Vanderhoff.
It's a masterpiece. Hell yeah. Let's see here.
Like just over and over again. It's the most basic riff. It's just a van driving from every different angle down this long road. That's how the movie opens.
And you're sitting there asking yourself, like, is this just a loop? Like, what's going on here?
I know. It starts way in the distance. And honestly, it gets all the way up to the camera before it cuts.
Yeah, you have to pad the film with something, right? So you got to fill the time with something.
Totally. Some of the same actors are in both movies, too.
Yeah. We talked about the kills earlier. We kind of like veered over there. But the VFX, one thing we didn't talk about with the VFX, talked about some of the puppetry, when the band becomes actual demons. And at the very beginning of the movie, you see them in their demonic makeup. I think, again, for a movie that's got such a low budget, like I think the makeup effects are pretty good here. Pretty good for what they've got.
Definitely.
Now, where do you, in the pantheon of people turning into demons and playing music or performing in theater a la demons, where do you rank Black Roses, Bill? Is Black Roses, like, is that tippy top, since that's got that nostalgia factor for you? Where do you place it?
It's definitely in the top 3, and I definitely hold Demons as one of those, and Trick or Treat, are probably my top 3, because I'd still, the thing is Demons is different, where it's not the music that's turning them, it's the theater and the movie and the mask, and the so it's a different thing. But as far as just straight up metal meets horror, and that's the cause of it, and the satanic stuff. My top 3 favorites are Trick or Treat, this one, and The Gate. Even though it's not a band performing, they still play that record, and it says all and it, you know what I mean? It's like there's still a satanic music influence to it, So I kind of hold that in the same category.
I agree, man. I want to shout out The Gate 2 also. That's really underrated. I've always liked The Gate 2.
I've got to watch it again, because I watched it when it first came out, and I've always been the hugest fan. I was actually wearing my Gate T-shirt earlier today when I was out running around. I've always been a fan of the first one, but I remember when the second one came out on VHS, we rented it, and I hated it. I was like, this doesn't feel like the first one at all, and just kind of dismissed it for a million years. But recently I saw some clips from it, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
And I've been hearing people like you saying that they really like it.
It's
so
the best
I
friend that was all into metal and everything. And he's a teenager now, and he's still like into metal and everything. And it's not as good, but it's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like Fright Night 2. Fright Night 2 is not Fright Night, but it's still cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like Fright Night 2. Yeah. But Fright Night 1 is my favorite vampire movie ever made. So.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I still need to. I've never watched The Gate, so that's one of those that
really?
I've got to catch up on. Yeah.
It's an experience.
I got to grab something real quick on that note. I'll be right back.
All right. Is that the one that's like Steven Dorff as a kid?
Yeah.
Is that the one? Okay.
He's a real young kid in it. Here's something I'll throw out at you. At one point in that movie, this won't spoil anything, the family dog dies. And like one person's like, okay, I'll take it to the vet. Again, it's a dead dog, like not a hurt dog, it's a dead dog. I'll take it to the vet. And they drive around all day, literally all day, with a dead dog in their car trying to get it to the vet. And I'm like, you could have done buried this dog by now. And it's just so weird to like sit there and like, I remember when it first came out back out on DVD, because I'd say on VHS as a kid. And when it came out on DVD, I was sitting there watching the special edition. I'm like, man, this is looking great. They really just driving around that dead dog all day.
Yeah, a vet isn't going to fix a dead dog. That just ain't going to happen.
No, bro.
So sorry.
No, you're all good, Bill.
I couldn't find what I wanted to show you. It's in a box put away. I thought I had it right there. I had the album Sacrifice from the Gate. The actual album. Yeah, but it's in a box somewhere. I went in there right to where it was supposed to be in all boxes. I'm like, shit, because we remodeled earlier this year, so I never dug it back out yet.
I'll cut this all together later on, and I'll superimpose it over your screen.
There you go.
So, one thing we always talk about here on Movie Punks is, what makes I guess in a way we've kind of hit on it, but if there's anything else you guys want to add as far as like what makes this movie like a punk rock movie, is it purely like the rebellious teens and the satanic panic and everything like that? What about this movie? Yeah, Foz, if you want to take the lead on this one, like, what puts it in that punk rock category for you?
For me, and it's just like whenever we started Movie Punks, this was like a very loose definition of the movies we're trying to look for, aka like last one we did was Real Genius. It's not really a punk rock movie, but in their actions it's punk rock. Like, Val Kilmer is a very punk rock character. Or it could
anti-establishment.
Or it could be like a Crocodile Dundee movie where it's not very punk rock, but they have lots of punk rockers in it. And I'd love to cover Crocodile Dundee. It's a fun 80s movie, lots of punks in it. And so for me, it's interchangeable. You could say like 80s heavy metal and 80s punk rockers are kind of interchangeable in movies. Like,
sure.
How much distortion are you going to use on a song? Are you going falsetto, or are you trying to sound English? Like that's like really the difference. A bit longer songs in the metal world.
For sure.
And to me, it's just all kind of the music subgenre. You could do like heavy new wave movies. You could like all that stuff's interchangeable, and it means all the same thing to me. Like a movie with a new wave band in it would be really, really cool to talk about. Like I'm blanking on the name of the movie that I just thought of, but we'll just say a new wave band, and then interchange it with this. And so this is like heavy metal movies. And when you're talking about heavy metal movies, this is one of the main top 2 heavy metal movies that you always talk about. Unless you're talking about like a doc like Decline 2 or something. And, and I think we could do Decline 2 on Movie Punks just the same as we could do Decline 1 and 3 on Movie Punks. It's all interchangeable. It's the attitude. It's the style.
Yeah.
And to me, that's why I think it qualifies as like a punk rock movie, just as well as saying because you can watch this next to Suburbia, and also Suburbia is a punk rock scare movie, from the 80s, where it's like, oh no, your kids are going to turn out to be punks and break into houses and do shit. This is, oh no, your heavy metal band's going to come to town and turn your kids into demons. It's all the same stuff.
How about you, Bill? You got anything to add on that? The punk rock element of Black Roses here?
I think Foz hit on it all, but yeah, I just slowly the rebellion is like the whole thing, like the kids rebelling against the authority and the teacher, and just even the beginning, like when they first show each kid at their home life, and it's like their parents don't seem to give a shit about them. You know what I mean? Like the dad is reading the paper, and he walks right behind him, grabs breakfast, looks at him, and goes, and he walks away, and the dad's trying like did something like goes right back to the paper. And it's not until Satan comes to town and the kids find something they're interested in, and now all the parents have an interest in what the kids are doing and why they're out, and so yeah, it's that whole thing.
Yeah, you're hitting on something there that we haven't talked about, which is, I think, one of the, I don't know if it's a lesson that the film is trying to teach, but definitely one of the parts of the story, and maybe it's a little, subtle, is that it's like, hey, if you don't fill the void, if the parents don't fill the void for their children, then their children are going to rebel and find things that are unhealthy. Because even the guy from The Sopranos, like, you know, he uses the other F word with his son when he sees the earring and everything like that. It's just like this, you know, not only a disinterest in what the kids are into, but also like a total dismissal that like the kids could be into anything of value. Just they don't want to, they don't connect with their children, and so then their children find somebody else to connect with that ultimately ends up, you know, corrupting their souls, so to speak.
Not their souls.
Damien.
So it's a lesson for all you. It's a lesson for all you parents out there. Take an interest, or Satan will, in your children.